My name is Kate Greenwood and I work for the Work Opportunities team at Cambridge University Hospitals, also known as Addenbrooke's. My team helped to facilitate the apprenticeship scheme, so we help to identify apprenticeships that can be offered in the hospital environment. We help to recruit apprentices and we help to look after their pastoral care once they're in post. And then we help people look for and apply for their next job or their next apprenticeship and support people that way. Today we're going to speak to Bryony and Lucy. Bryony has done an admin apprenticeship and has just started a new further apprenticeship, and Lucy works as a physiotherapy apprentice doing the degree route.
Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Bryony. I am the Health and Care Academy coordinator for the Cambridgeshire and Peterborough Integrated Care System. It's a bit of a mouthful. In January 2020, I did a level 2 business admin apprenticeship in the employee relations team, and now I'm doing a level 4 improvement practitioner apprenticeship.
Thank you. And Lucy?
Hi, I'm Lucy. I am currently completing the physiotherapy apprenticeship, which starts off as level 4 and goes through to level 6, so ends up with a degree in physiotherapy at the end. I'm studying with the University of East London in Stratford, and I work as part of the medical physiotherapy team, mainly based on the wards D7 and C5.
Great. And how long does your apprenticeship last, Lucy?
Mine is 4 years.
Okay, and that includes, so what is that, a year on level 4, 2 years?
I'm not really sure how the breakdown is. I think at the moment it's 1 year on level 4, maybe 2 on level 5, and then 1 level 6. I could have made that up, but yeah, it will be 4 years, which is longer than the normal university degree, which is only 3 years. But obviously, you're working as well, so
you get all that hands-on experience in the job, don't you?
Definitely.
Yeah. And Bryony, how long is the apprenticeship that you're doing currently?
I believe it's just over a year. I know that my lessons, they go on into 2023, so I imagine it will be a year, but I think I've been given longer to do it.
Okay. And Bryony, how long have you worked for Cambridge University Hospitals or the NHS, and how did you start here?
So I started just pre-COVID, January 2020, and I actually joined Apprentice as an apprentice in the employee relations team. So I've just been working here for over 2 years now.
Excellent. And Lucy, how about you? How long have you worked for Cambridge University Hospitals or the NHS in total?
I was trying to work this out earlier. I definitely started with the physio team in the September of 2018, but I was a healthcare assistant before. So I actually joined Cambridge University Hospital as a healthcare assistant doing the nursing apprenticeship. So that's where I was originally, and then I decided actually that I wanted to go more into the physio route. So I transitioned from a nursing apprentice into the physio team, but they didn't have apprentices at that point, and then have been working as a band 4 physiotherapy technical instructor since September 2018, and now this is the second year of physio apprentices at Addenbrooke's.
Great, yeah, so that shows that sometimes if you've got your foot in the door in a department and then apprenticeships come up, it's easier for you to step onto that apprenticeship role, isn't it?
Well, it was more that I moved to the physio department in the hope that apprenticeships would come, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so I've kind of been working my way to getting an apprenticeship for quite a while.
Yeah, and that's happening a bit more often, particularly in the allied health professionals and other health professions, that apprenticeships are coming through each year, brand new ones, and you know, year on year we can offer more and more, so it's a really great thing.
I know that for the physio at the moment, they're only recruit for the health for the other. So for the nursing apprenticeships, they recruit externally as well. But for the allied health ones, I believe, or especially the physio one, they only recruit internally at the moment.
Yeah, mainly because there's less of them than the.
There's only three of us.
Excellent, thank you. So Lucy, if we stick with you, what does your day-to-day role entail?
As in at university, or over the week? So
both. Let's start with your job role and then what the university course includes.
So my job role is as a band 4 PTI, as I was doing before. So I am assessing patients, trying to promote their mobility whilst they're on the ward, helping with discharge planning, contacting families, liaising with MDTs. I work alongside the assistants and the qualified physiotherapists, and get to obviously observe the qualified therapists working, and working towards becoming competent in all the aspects of physiotherapy. So that's my main role. I'll go and see patients, doing what I was doing in my role before, but being able to add on what I'm learning in my apprenticeship as I go.
Yeah. Great. And then how does it work at university? How often do you attend university, and is it remote or face-to-face?
During term time, we are face-to-face on a Monday, so we travel down to London on a Monday. On a Tuesday, we have self-directed learning from home, which means I have slightly longer hours on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to take into consideration that it's 6 hours self-directed learning on the Tuesday, but it's a 7.5 hour working day, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I do like 15 minutes extra a day.
Okay, so the course tends to run during term time and then has a break when it's like half terms and summer holidays, is that right?
We don't get half terms, we get summer holiday, winter and Easter.
Okay, thank you. And Bryony, your course is different to the degree type apprenticeship, so can you tell us how your course works?
So I've just started it today, so I might not be particularly well versed, but I imagine that it would probably it's going to be similar to how I did my level 2. So instead, during my level 2, it was basically just signing off competencies. So in my level 4, I'll be doing an endpoint assessment. So that means I'll basically be working towards completing this big assignment. Whereas in my level 2, it was just doing assessments as I went along, and then we would just sign them off. So it definitely will be different, but yeah, it will be a mix of like lectures as well I'll be going to, which I didn't do in my level 2.
Okay, and in your level 2, I understand that you would meet with an assessor regularly and then have to submit assignments. How did all that work?
So I am maybe a bit needy, and I would always talk to my assessor and always be asking questions. So when I first started, I would meet with him face to face, and he would come into our department and watch me do different things. So observe me. It could be doing something like filing or answering the phone. But because of COVID, that kind of changed. We started first we started doing phone calls, and then we moved on to Teams. And in terms of like uploading work, it would be done on a platform called Smart Assessor. So we would catch up, he would assign me some work, I would do it, and then I would upload it. And then depending on how it was assessed, it might be that we have a conversation about the piece of work that I've done, which would then contribute to all of my work, basically.
Thank you. Bryony, what do you enjoy most about your current job role?
So I think the number one thing that I enjoy the most is being able to help other students, because when I was 15, 16, 17 even, I didn't really know what my options were. I knew that university was the main one, and I think that was kind of like pushed on us, that is kind of what you do. So I think it's really great to just say to students, this is the variety of roles that are available in the NHS and also in care, and this is how you get into them. Not everything is university route. You can do an apprenticeship, which in some cases you will still be going to uni, but it's a lot different than going the traditional course. And then I would say my second favourite thing is being actually able to meet the different practitioners. So as part of my job, I meet with doctors, nurses, allied health professionals, other admin staff, like the list is endless. And actually being able to interview them and meet them and get to know them is really enjoyable.
Thank you. And Lucy, can you tell me what you enjoy most about your role?
I think I'm completely the same as Bryony. Like I know about everyone trying to say that, oh, university is the main thing to do after you leave school, and I even started doing a physio degree, a traditional physio degree, and it just wasn't for me. So I completely agree with it being good that there are different routes to getting where you might want to be. As part of why I love physiotherapy is because you get to work with so many different people, and you get to see them progress as well, which is lovely. I enjoy working in a variety of different specialities. So as part of the medicine team, I've been working with diabetics. I'm now on the renal ward, so I get to incorporate the things that I'm learning at university into my day-to-day role. I love being hands-on with patients, seeing them progress, and helping people recover from their illnesses. It's really rewarding. And also working within a team environment. We've got a really strong medical physio team, and being able to, especially during COVID, being able to have that face-to-face contact with people and knowing that I'm making a difference. I think when you see someone progress, or when you help someone do something that they couldn't do before, or do something that they were struggling with before, it's really rewarding. And also no 2 days are the same, so I never get bored.
Thank you. So you've touched on it slightly, but what attracted you to doing an apprenticeship?
I have never really, so I did go to university, but I ended up leaving early because it just wasn't for me. I enjoyed the working aspect of it. It wasn't as hands-on. With a physio degree, you might get a few months placement at max over the whole 3 years, whereas I'm basically on placement the whole time, and I think it will make me a much better physio at the end of the day. Also the fact that I can earn money as well as learning at the same time. And also I didn't want to leave Cambridge. I've just moved to Cambridge, started getting a life here in Cambridge, and I enjoy working at Adam Brooks. So I didn't want to up sticks and have to take 3 years out of being paid to go to university. It's a much better way, and especially with a practical course like physiotherapy, I think I think the apprenticeship will lead to making better physios at the end of the day.
Yeah, that makes sense. All the hands-on experience, and all the shadowing that you can do, and then the course fees are all paid for by the employer.
And I get a job at the end of the day.
Yes. Yeah, so are you automatically given a new job role when you finish your degree apprenticeship?
Yeah, so there's no obligation to stay, but we are automatically given a band 5 physiotherapy role within Cambridge, and Cambridge is a pretty it's difficult to get into, so I'm lucky.
Yeah, a good step in then. Is there anything that surprised you about studying an apprenticeship, Lucy?
The amount of work I have to do. I think, yeah, I do more than, I'm quite a perfectionist, so I do more than perhaps I need to, but I'm only in year 1 at the moment, so there'll be lots more to learn. But yeah, the amount of work, but also the amount of help that people are willing to give you is good. It's really nice.
That's good. Yeah, so it must be really challenging studying alongside working in almost a full-time role at the same time, I'd imagine.
Yes, and I think you have to be organised. You have to have good time organisation skills, and also be able to switch off, because you're taking your work home. It's not like before when I could stop at the end of the day and go home. You're kind of having to work from home as well, but it's good. And I was surprised at how well I was able to do the transition. So getting into studying again wasn't as difficult as I'd expected, because I hadn't studied for 6 or so years, so I'm not fresh out of, I've never done a degree. Quite a lot of the people doing the physio degree have done a degree before, but okay. I haven't needed to.
Thank you. And Bryony, what made you apply for an apprenticeship?
So I'm the same as Lucy. I actually went to university for 2 years and I studied sociology, and I'd never done it before. I just kind of went in to the deep end. I had no idea really what it was about, and that was a mistake. So I ended up leaving after 2 years, and I was unemployed, didn't have my degree. I was just feeling not down, but I was, kind of worried about my future and what I was going to do. So my mum actually started working at Apprentice while I was still studying, and afterwards I came home and she said that I should take a look at the apprenticeships, because they're a great way to kind of get in entry level, considering I'd never done an admin role before, or even really worked in a hospital or been in a hospital. So I just sort of applied, and I went to the interviews and I was successful, and it's kind of just taken me on this massive journey, which I never thought I'd be on now, but here I am.
Thank you. And is there anything that surprised you about studying an apprenticeship, and is there any advice that you would give people who are considering one?
It's hard to say, because I wouldn't have said that anything particularly surprised me. I'm somebody that just kind of goes with the flow, so I wasn't, too sure what to expect. So it was kind of like, and I just, come out of university, so I was kind of used to studying. But I'd probably say now, after doing one, I'm actually surprised at the variety of apprenticeships there are, and I had no idea that you could do another apprenticeship after you've done one. So now that I'm employed full time, I didn't know that you could do one. I thought it was all direct entry, like you had to apply and interview and stuff like that. But if you're employed, you can do an apprenticeship, which I think is amazing. And in terms of advice, I'd probably say ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Do your research, see what really interests you, and just have a go. See how you get on. And even if it doesn't work out, it's a really good experience.
Yeah, and as you said, you can go on and study more apprenticeship qualifications if you're in the job role which matches that type of apprenticeship. So at the hospital we offer apprenticeships to direct entry people who want to come in for an apprenticeship role, or we offer apprenticeships for people who already work here and want to add on some qualifications, if the department can give someone time out and support to do that. Thank you. So Bryony, what are your future career plans after this, and are you thinking of any further qualifications? I know you've just started a new apprenticeship, so it might be a bit too early, but what are your thoughts going forward?
So my number one intention is to definitely stay in the NHS. I want to stay as long as possible, and hopefully until I retire. I really love it here. And kind of just see, like, after I do my improvement practitioner apprenticeship, I'm hoping to go into a more senior role or something like project management, and just kind of see where it takes me. And yeah, what was the other part of that question, sorry?
Are you looking at doing any further qualifications?
Yeah, so I've done my level 4, and depending where I end up, I'm definitely open to doing more qualifications and just continually developing myself.
Yeah, so also on the non-clinical side, we offer degree apprenticeships as well. So it could be eventually you look at a senior leaders apprenticeship, or even the project management is a degree apprenticeship as well. So there's other options there. And Lucy, what are your future career plans after this? You're on quite a long journey at the moment. So have you got any more thoughts?
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, 4 years feels like a long time, but my current intentions are to remain at Cambridge, at Addenbrooke's. I'd like to eventually go into being a rotational band 5 physio, which is the general track, whether you complete an apprenticeship or whether you complete the normal physio degree. So complete a rotational band 5 position at Addenbrooke's, to gain experience in all aspects of hospital physio. And then from there, because I've got the degree, I can then go, I could go and work in another hospital, I could go and work abroad. The opportunities then are, once you've got the degree and once you've got that physio qualification, I could do anything that I wanted to, whether it be work in private practice, work abroad. But at the moment, my goal is to stay within Addenbrooke's to get more experience.
Excellent, thank you. Is there anything else that either of you want to mention or cover that you think would be important for future apprentices to know about?
I think from my perspective, especially doing the degree apprenticeship and it being such a well applied for or popular course, is that it's open for people like me who don't have degrees. Yes, it would have been easier for me to know how to write an essay before, or if I had done a previous degree, because I would know how to study, but I don't think it should put anyone off who hasn't done a degree before, especially because there is that support out there. And as Bryony said earlier, being able to ask for help is my number one advice. Don't struggle on it alone. Now that there's been a couple of cohorts of apprentices, there's always going to be someone before you. The last year's group struggled a bit more because they were the first, they were the guinea pigs. However, now there's going to be people ahead of them. So I think, yeah, ask for help. Don't be afraid. You don't need all the qualifications. in the world to do this. It's a way in, and it's great.
Yeah, it's probably worth noting that the nursing apprenticeship, which we've got a few hundred people studying the nursing apprenticeship, which you tried and changed your mind, but we do have a lot of people who join that either straight from college, kind of as an alternative to university, but we also have a lot of mature people who, for the same reasons as you, haven't been able to do the degree in the traditional way, but it's really good that they can work and learn and earn money and do the nursing apprenticeship like that.
Yeah.
And anything else to add, Bryony?
I'll give a piece of advice for anybody that is thinking about doing an admin apprenticeship. Is what I found really helpful is to write everything down. Everything you do, write it down, because you will be able to look back and see how much you've progressed, and it will just help you so much with all your work, and you'll just see how much you've done, and you'll be so proud of yourself. I know I am.
Thank you both.